Hi there, I'm Ananja, the creator and founder of the Pleiadian Healing Centre. And in episode 2 of the Ascension Times, I will be talking all about the imminent exposure of truth and also what to put your focus on during these times. So stay tuned. Hey guys, hope you are all well. I've decided to totally bling it up today. I'm wearing sequins. Can you hear them? Probably because my mic is on them. But basically, I've been in a real slump for a few weeks now, really, actually. And today I'm just pulling myself up by the bootstraps. Is that a phrase? I feel like it is, but I'm not sure. And I thought I just got to get myself out of it, just when you just got to dig yourself out of a hole. And so I was like, right, I need curling tongs, I need sequins, I need flicky eye makeup, and everything will be okay. So here we are. Anyway, thank you for joining me. I did actually record a previous video for episode 2, but it wasn't sitting quite right with me, the tone of it. I was in the midst of some intense processing, so my energy was a bit weird and it didn't feel right because I want to make sure that when I make videos for you guys, I do it the highest quality. So that's something that's really important to me. So since my last video, it feels like we've lived through lifetimes of change already. I mean, I can barely keep up with it. I'm sure you feel the same. So the main shifts that I've noticed, so I don't know if you keep track of the Schumann resonance. The Schumann resonance has had almost consistent whiteouts for every day of May. It is full on, and that's an indication of how intense the energies are at the moment. So for me, the way that I've always experienced things on my ascension path is that I believe that as the light comes in, as we receive light into our beings, into our physical vessels, anything that is heavy and dense within us kind of gets displaced by that light. So it's it can't exist. It can't coexist with the light. And so it's almost like the light comes in, it vibrates into you, vibrates that heavier, denser stuff out of you, and then you release it, and then you've kind of shed another layer of density. And this has been my personal ascension journey of how I've kind of continuously leveled up over and over again, into higher and higher levels of light. And so the way I've experienced that usually is I have periods of kind of consistent energy levels, fairly stable mood, and then I will start to feel very tired and heavy and really lethargic. And then this can be over the period of days, or sometimes even over a week or two. And then I'll start to feel quite sensitive and emotional, and then I will sort of feel that emotion rising to the surface, and then I'll have a day or two where I just crash. Maybe not even a day or two, maybe even a few hours at times, but I need to have a really big purge. I cry and I cry and I cry, and it's I'm releasing all of that density. It comes out for me through tears, and I know that different people have different ways of working their way through that. For me, I'm a crier. And then when I come out the other side of that, I feel really blissed out, really high energy, in total alignment with the universe, tons of insight coming through, just on cloud 9, just absolutely amazing. So that's the way it's been. So it's been consistent energy levels, feel a drop, work through it, rise, and then I'm at a higher level, and just do that over and over again on a cycle. Things are different now. This is May 2021. Things are different. So the light is so intense and so consistent now that I don't have that cycle anymore. I am continuously processing, and I just feel I've stabilized and found my feet, and then I can kind of get going with stuff again, when the next one just the next thing is already there and processing, and it's almost multiple things overlay with each other. And so my personal journey at the moment is I'm trying to find a way to process these energies and like function function and like get stuff done and like show up for you guys at the same time. Because really I just want to go and live in a little hole in the ground most of the time. That's how I feel. But as always, there's a balance, and it's about, you know, evolving and trying to be the best that we can be. It's funny because like I know I have this calling to kind of be there as a leader in the field of ascension and in the field of awakening and you know, the changes that we're going through on this planet. I know who I am at the soul level, and I do feel like kind of leadership in front of people is part of that. But at the same time, like it's a difficult one for me because I feel everything so intensely and so deeply all the time. Like I feel it to the depths of my being, and I'm never not feeling stuff like really, really intensely. And so trying to live that and kind of like be stable enough, like that's the thing for me. It's like the stability to kind of like keep showing up in a regular way and do the masses of work that needs to be done when you're basically like an entrepreneur, trying to kind of like be out there, you know. It's like it's a difficult one for me, but it's my focus at the moment, so it's what I'm working on, and I will become increasingly consistent as time goes on, and just be more of a person in your life there to support and hold you as you work through this. So, okay, so what to focus on at the moment? So, so there's two things that I want to talk about, really, two kind of like key themes. So I have been battling with kind of like addictions and unconsciousness quite a lot. So for me, the light coming in, I'm finding it so intense that it's almost like I get a bit almost like scared of the power that I have sometimes. So I just find it overwhelming, and it's like I don't want to be like, oh, like first world problems. Do you know what I mean? But like, yeah, I find that like really difficult. So I'm obviously blessed to like have a lot of energy flowing through me and to be like a really powerful soul. But at the same time, it's like I really struggle to surrender to that. And so the more the light comes in, because I'm so relentless in shedding the density and embodying the light, the more power I'm kind of like leveling up into. And it's like I'm dancing around the edges of it. And it's like it makes me kind of quite uncomfortable. And I haven't fully managed to kind of just like step into that yet. And I'm sure now I'm saying it, it's coming in, it's related to all the many, many lifetimes of persecution. And weirdly, today I filmed a video on Instagram Live, and I found myself at this castle, like that's literally just around the corner from me. And I hadn't like fully clicked before why I went there, but quite often I go there to do my Instagram lives. And it was the last place in the UK where the final witches were tried, found guilty in this particular like tower, and then taken to another part of Exeter to be executed. Exeter execution. So no wonder that we have these issues, you know. It's like there's so many lifetimes of density that we're clearing, and it's cyclical, and it kind of like comes up in these different ways, being triggered to the surface through what we're experiencing in our lives now. So yeah, for me, this dancing around the power thing, it's almost like I can feel that it's there, but I guess it is like, what's going to happen to me if I really surrender into this? So instead, I'm avoiding it. I'm watching Netflix. I am eating chocolate, albeit vegan chocolate that's like, you know, raw and healthy and stuff. But too much of anything is not healthy, is it? And I'm definitely having too much of it at the moment. Yeah, and you know, I just want to be transparent with you guys, because like I am very far along my path, but at the same time, like it's, you know, I'm never not going to be working through these issues until we're kind of like quite a way more advanced and evolved together as a species, I think. So yeah, that's been a little bit challenging. And so I tried one day last week. I had this voice coming in. I was like, what what if you just surrender? Like, what if you just really let go into it? What would happen, you know? Like, what's the worst that could happen? So there was one day where I actually just regularly throughout the day put down all the distractions, because I have been like distraction central. Put down the distractions and just sat there. And literally, like, the second I close my eyes and actually choose to focus on like how I feel inside, the intensity of the waves of energy coming through me are insane. It's basically like a rolling orgasm, like consistently, just this like energy waves, energy waves, energy waves. And it feels amazing. And it's almost like, what am I doing? Like with these distractions, it's like I'm trying to get that feeling. That is the feeling that I'm trying to get. I want to feel like that. And yet I'm doing all these things to not feel like that. So it's this really weird, like backwards and forwards. So I don't know if you'll resonate with that in your own life in any way, but hopefully that can provide you with some insight. So I'm trying to like just be more present with myself and harness those feelings. And so off the back of that, when I realized how much energy was flowing through me, I was like, okay, maybe I just start like just blessing everything, just like channel energy wherever. So this has become like a fairly consistent practice for me now. So as I'm going about my day, every time I think to do it, I'm channeling light and like directing it to different things. So, so as an example, when I'm on the bus, and it's like, oh, it comes into my mind, I'll close my eyes for a moment. I kind of just like hold my hands up, because it's like I feel the light comes down to my heart and then out through my hands. And I'm imagining like a very pure source light, basically. But the word crystalline really jumps out for me. So pure crystalline light, like the light of Christ consciousness, essentially, like the purest white light that you can kind of imagine. And it comes down to my heart. I channel it through my hands, and I just direct it to like wherever I feel the light is being called to go. So I've been sending light to Israel and Palestine. I've been sending light to my home city. I've been sending light to my son, to my friends, just whatever feels like wherever I just feel guided to send it, basically. And it's like, why not do that? Why not just bless everything as we can go along? And so that has been kind of like one leveling up process for me that I just wanted to share. And I think it can be really powerful to put that into practice yourself, because then, you know, I think honestly, I don't think we've got any idea the amount of impact we're having as star seeds and evolved souls just being here. Honestly, I think it is like the ripple effects of just having our frequency like in the midst of this denser frequency, I think is like making a world of difference. But if we then consciously, like regularly, like continuously, if we can, just channel that into our environment, and it's almost like it course corrects stuff. So it's like if there's a situation that is out of balance, and you can do it with situations as well. So if there's something in your life that you're struggling with, or like there's some kind of like authority situation you're dealing with that makes you feel uncomfortable, or anything like that, or something that you want to like heal or fix in your life, just imagine just sending this crystalline light into that situation. You can almost imagine the situation like as a ball in your hands, and just channel light into it. And just imagine that as you do so, any distortions with it are washing away, and it's completely realigning with like its highest divine blueprint and with source. So source is taking it over, basically. You're surrendering it to source. And that is such a powerful practice, and it's really good for seeing things shift really quickly in your life as well. So if you imagine how powerful it is and how instantaneous it is with situations, then imagine how incredible it is for people and for healing. And that's another one. If people start to have, if we reach the point where there's like mass reactions happening to some medication that people have been taking recently on a mass scale, that's it. We can channel the light to them. We can channel the light, we can channel the light, we can channel the light. So we just need to remember how powerful we are, and that we've got that in our toolkit. It's right there. It's always there. So let's use it. Right. So another insight that I wanted to share is the way that I've been seeing the light coming in, and I'm getting more and more like downloads coming as I'm doing this message. So I'll try and remember it all. I've got like a queue of things that I want to say. So the light coming in now is literally, the way I've been shown, is like whatever little pockets of darkness are left, it's like it's just breaking them apart and like melting them away. Like the darkness cannot live in this light. So about a week or two ago, there was a shift. I don't know if you felt it, you might have done, where so much light came in, and it was like the fabric of reality changed. So it was like, okay, there is so much light now that it's going to be this way from now on. Do you know what I mean? I don't know if I'm explaining it in a very good way, but such a powerful blast of light that I just knew in my heart, I was like, it was like a threshold had been reached, a tipping point. And I was like, that was it. Things are never going to be the same again. There's no going back. This is it now. I got that the light from that point forward has been increasing exponentially every day. And the inevitability of the exposure of lies and distortion in the face of this light. So it like, this facade cannot go on that much longer. And I'm not saying this in an emotional, like, oh God, it can't go on any longer, I can't cope with it. That's not what this is. This is like, metaphysically, it cannot exist for much longer. So this is it, guys. We're on the home stretch now. Getting like goosebumps as I say this. We have been preparing for this for so long. We've been preparing for it for so long, but it's not playing out how I thought it would, but we've really got to be ready now, guys, to be there and hold space for people, okay, as they go through this awakening. Another reason it's not the way I thought it would be is that I was just saying this in my Instagram live this morning, but because of the nature of how this is unfolding, it's affected every single person on the planet personally, with the exception of very, very few people who are completely like off grid or off communication or like outside of what's going on, you know? So I always thought that the things that I was conscious of in the world, like I've gone very deep down the rabbit hole. I think I've discovered and explored as much as there is to discover and explore in terms of what's been hidden from us, that a human can at this stage on the surface of the planet. So I've really dived deep down multiple rabbit holes. And where was I going with that? Can't remember. I've completely lost my thread. Gone down the multiple rabbit holes. Oh yeah. So I always thought that all of that darkness that I had like discovered would be exposed at some point, including things that were really desperate to be exposed, like ETs, you know, just like the basics, stuff like that. But I never anticipated that for people to wake up, they would have to be affected at such a personal level. Now, obviously, we are affected at a personal level because things like weaponization of the food supply, the pharmaceutical industry, all of that stuff, all of us have been affected by it. Like, unless you are in a different kind of world, like at least everybody in the Western world, but a lot of people in developing countries as well. God, what an arrogant freaking name to give a place that's like more in connection with the earth. It's just crazy, isn't it? But yeah, for it to get to the point where it's like people taking these poisons into their own body and just the level of deceit and everything that's going on. I never thought it would get to the point where it was that like individually embodied in people. But here we are, and this is partly why this is going to be such a tough awakening, but it's going to be brutal, but like more powerful because of this. So when you hear about all the horrifying things that have gone on in the world, if it didn't affect you directly, then there's kind of like oh God, that's terrible, and it would take a lot of time to process, but you're sort of like less affected by it. Whereas if you find out that you've taken something into your body that like is known to cause quite severe issues and possibly death, and that you were like bullied into it and like mind controlled, and how many people that has happened to, and they're going to wake up to it, and it's going to be so shocking for them. So I almost feel like because of this awakening is going to be that much more like shocking, but I almost feel like it had to be, because like the level of apathy for things that aren't directly affecting people these days is just huge. And I get it. We like numb out. It's almost like there's so much horror on the planet. It's like, how can you, if you feel it all, it can be crippling. And that's where I'm at most of the time. I felt too much in my life. I feel so deeply, and it's like really hard to function. But yeah, that's part of it. So we just got to be prepared, guys, for like how this is gonna hit, and it's gonna be hard. And also, like potentially over the next couple of months, we might have some difficult discussions on our hands, and we might find ourselves being aggressively pushed to do things, see things in a certain way that we don't feel comfortable with. You got to take it all in your own stride and just deal with it like one situation at a time. But one thing that is really important right now is that we connect with like-minded and like-hearted people. So whoever your tribe are, who are on the same frequency, just make sure that you've got that support there, that connection, so that you feel strong in yourself as you vocalize your truth with calmness and confidence. Okay. And that's the thing we're facing. It's basically like facing, and it is like another witch hunt basically, but we just need to be calm like a tree, roots grounded, and just like, just don't waver. You know what the truth is, you know what your truth is, and just stick to that. One thing I did want to say that's really interesting on the flip side of this is that I see a huge amount of like memes going around, because it's like meme planet right now, isn't it? About how people feel attacked, people who have decided, or people who are like not into getting the thing done, feel attacked and demonized. And it's really interesting because I am yet a year in to have a single conversation with anyone around this. I haven't had any discussions. I haven't had any, it's like I cut myself there, that's weird. Haven't had any discussions, haven't had any snide remarks, haven't had any bullying. I haven't had anything. I obviously have to deal with like, there's one guy in town in a cafe that I just went to when I said I didn't have my phone with me, when he wanted me to do the track and trace, and was like glaring at me like, ugh, you're one of those. Like I'm an inconvenience, I'm not fitting in and doing what's supposed to be done. But that's like the extent of it, to be honest. And so all this stuff about like being rounded up, being like having it blamed on us that like, lockdowns can't be lifted and stuff like that because we've chosen not to vaccinate. I'm seeing it in the newspapers. I'm yet to hear it from a single human being. Now, to be fair, I have been like very vocal with my truth for quite a long time now. So I generally am surrounded by people who have the same, if not quite similar belief systems with me, or that I can at least have open discussions with, where I can like discuss my truth openly. I guess the exception being like my family, where we have like very differing beliefs, but I think like at this point in time, we love and respect each other enough to just like, just love each other as people, as beings, and to put that stuff like to one side, because we know that it's really contentious, and just to respect that we each have our own like belief systems, So yeah, I almost wonder, is it like part of the psyop that it's like, oh no, they're like, these people are like attacking us because we don't believe in vaccines, and like they're gathering us up with pitchforks and stuff like that. I'm not actually seeing any of it. And I'm actually quite intrigued to hear like what people's genuine experiences are. So if you have had any experiences of like face to face in conversation with people, like being like verbally attacked, or like someone behaving aggressively towards you because of your beliefs, I'd really love to hear about it. Not I'd love to hear about it, I'm sorry it happened to you. I'm not like, woo, you know what I mean? But yeah, no, I'm just interested to hear if that's like genuinely a thing, you know, or if it's just another thing that's like going around at the moment to cause more fear and division. I'm not scared anymore about shedding. I don't believe that. I do believe it's having an effect on people, but I actually just believe that you can override it with your belief and your conviction in your immunity and your inner strength. So as long as you're doing the things that you know to do, most people on the spiritual journey have already gone down like a path of like nutrition and health. So just embrace all that stuff that you know is right, that you know will bring you like the optimum health. And then know that you're untouchable. Like, no. It's like, I'm a freaking pillar of golden light. That shit ain't coming near me. It's not going to affect me. I truly believe that. And I have interactions with people, like a lot of people every day, just like out in public. I don't wear a mask. My son's at school with people who've been vaccinated. And I'm just starting my cycle now. And it's bang on the right day that it should be. I'm not getting any unusual symptoms, because I know this has been a fear for a lot of women. So I just want to, you know, put that out there. I think we just need to be really mindful not to fall into the fear abyss, because like it's playing on all sides now, you know. It's almost like, you know, when we've heard about this like oh God, I am going on today, aren't I? I'm really sorry. I'm like blah, 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 blah. This whole like bifurcation of realities thing. It's really interesting. It's almost like on the surface you would think that it would be like people who haven't woken up yet and are being like vaccinated versus people who are aware of what's going on in the world, are trying to make the world a better place. They're trying to kind of get the truth to break through to people and embody their higher selves and all that kind of thing. But within that community of like those who have awakened, there is still so much fear and judgment. Do you know what I mean? And so it's like, you gotta, there's opportunities at every single corner that you can look to. Every path you go down, you're still going to get that chance to either choose love and compassion or fall into the fear trap, you know? It's really fascinating. It's really fascinating. Is there anything else that you would like me to say? No, that's everything. Okay. I feel like there was more that I wanted to discuss, but I have been going for like half an hour now. And yeah, I'm pretty happy with everything that I've covered. I love you guys. I'm going to try and make these videos more often. Like, I really want to. I'm proud of myself for having done this today, because I've been in such a slump, and sequins just make everything better. They just do. They just do. So thank you so much for watching. If you've got any questions or comments, like please comment below. I'm always really interested to have a dialogue with you guys. In the first video, there were a couple of beautiful souls who did leave questions in the comments, and I'm going to deal with them in later videos. I might actually make a separate video for each question I'm thinking about doing, so we'll see how I get on with that. But yeah, big change is coming. Just stay grounded, stay level, stay balanced, connect with your tribe. Just try to stay calm. Try to stay calm. You know, you've got everything that you need within. Embody that light, embrace that light, direct that light, and we're going to be, I was going to say gravy. That's such an English thing to say. It's all gravy. That is actually an English saying, I think. I don't think you have it in the States, but it's all gravy. All right. I love you all. Take care. Bye.